The ball is snapped, the defense crashes inside, and Fernando Mendoza pulls it at the last second. Again. Touchdown. Now here's the question nobody wants to answer yet. Is this brilliance or a beautiful illusion that won't survive Sundays? Because while America was busy watching Indiana shock the college football world, while the Hoosiers were bulldozing blue bloods and lifting a Big Ten trophy no one saw coming, a very different conversation was happening behind the scenes. One that could define Mendoza's future far more than any Heisman ceremony ever could. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on the most polarizing quarterback debate in football right now, and why a single sentence from Deshaun Watson's personal quarterback coach might matter more than all 41 touchdowns Fernando Mendoza threw this season. And stay with me, because near the end, we're going to connect Tom Brady, the Raiders, and one uncomfortable truth NFL teams may already believe. Fernando Mendoza's rise doesn't make sense, and that's exactly why it's so intoxicating. 2 years ago, he was barely a footnote at Cal, a redshirt freshman learning the speed of the game, taking snaps in 9 games, flashing talent but nowhere near superstardom, solid arm, smart decisions. But no one was building statues. No one was whispering future first-rounder. Then December 2024 hits. Mendoza transfers to Indiana, a program that historically lives in the shadow of the Big Ten's giants. Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State. Programs that eat quarterbacks alive. Curt Cignetti takes one look at Mendoza and doesn't hesitate. No competition, no open battle. QB1 from day one. That decision changed everything, because what followed was one of the most improbable seasons in modern college football history. Indiana didn't just win games. They hunted giants. They knocked off Ohio State, the defending national champions, in a game that rewrote the Big Ten hierarchy overnight. Mendoza was calm, surgical, deadly in space. He didn't force throws. He didn't panic. Indiana breezed through the quarterfinals. He orchestrated by the time the Hoosiers reached the college football playoff. The story had already escaped logic. Then the semifinals. Mendoza stacking touchdowns like it was routine. And when the dust settled, there it was. Undefeated Big Ten champions, national championship appearance against Miami, and Fernando Mendoza, Heisman Trophy winner. From afterthought to the face of college football in one season. But here's where the story takes a hard left, because the louder the hype got, the quieter and sharper the doubts became. While fans were celebrating highlights, NFL evaluators were rewinding tape. Not once, not twice, but again and again, asking the same uncomfortable question. What exactly are we evaluating here? That's when Quincy Avery spoke up. And when Quincy Avery speaks, NFL front offices listen. Avery isn't just another talking head on social media. He's one of the most respected quarterback developers in football. More importantly, he's Deshaun Watson's quarterback coach, the man who has seen firsthand what NFL quarterbacking actually demands. And Avery didn't sugarcoat it. I really like Mendoza, he said. But this isn't quarterbacking like an NFL QB. This is just RPO after RPO. That sentence hit like a linebacker in the hole. Because it wasn't an insult. It was worse, it was a warning. In today's college game, the run-pass option is a cheat code. It freezes linebackers. It simplifies reads. It manufactures confidence. It turns good athletes into statistical monsters. But the NFL doesn't care how pretty your college stat line looks. They care about what you can do when the RPO disappears. Avery doubled down. It's tough to really evaluate. And that's the most dangerous thing a quarterback can be labeled heading into the NFL draft. Not inaccurate, not weak-armed, not reckless. Difficult to evaluate. That's how prospects slide. That's how first-round dreams quietly turn into second-day realities. And here's the twist that makes this story even more fascinating. While Avery was questioning Mendoza's NFL readiness, Tom Brady was in the building. Yes, that Tom Brady. Brady, 7-time Super Bowl champion, minority owner of the Las Vegas Raiders, was in attendance at the national championship game, watching, observing, evaluating, not cheering, not celebrating, studying, every dropback, every footwork detail, every read. Because when Brady looks at a quarterback, he's not watching college football. He's projecting Sunday survival. And that's where this story becomes less about Mendoza and more about what the NFL actually wants now. Fernando Mendoza's offense at Indiana was RPO-heavy by design. Cignetti built a system that maximized Mendoza's decision-making speed and athleticism. It worked spectacularly. 349 passing yards, 41 passing touchdowns, 284 rushing yards, 6 rushing scores, efficiency, control, dominance. But NFL teams aren't drafting systems. They're drafting solutions. They want quarterbacks who can stand in the pocket when the run fake means nothing, who can read full field coverages when the linebacker doesn't bite, who can throw with anticipation when the window hasn't opened yet. And that's the tape scouts are desperate to find. The irony? Mendoza might be a victim of his own success, because Indiana didn't need him to play NFL-style quarterbacking. They needed him to win, and he did, relentlessly. But history is littered with college legends who forced the league to ask the same question Mendoza is facing now. Is this production or projection? And that brings us back to Brady. Because if there's one man on earth who understands the gap between college dominance and NFL survival, it's him. Brady was never the most athletic, never the flashiest, never the system darling. He survived because he mastered the boring stuff. Footwork, timing, progressions, pocket manipulation, the stuff RPO-heavy systems often hide. So when Brady watches Mendoza, he's not asking if he can win on Saturdays. He's asking if he can survive chaos on Sundays. And that's where this story still has one massive, unanswered question. Has Mendoza shown enough outside the RPO to convince teams he's more than a product of structure? Because here's the part most fans don't want to admit. NFL teams are ruthless. They will love you on Saturday and doubt you on Monday. Mendoza's collegiate journey shows growth. From Cal to Indiana, his confidence skyrocketed. His command of the offense improved. His leadership became undeniable. But the NFL doesn't reward leadership without translation. Quincy Avery's comment wasn't an attack. It was an evaluation red flag, a reminder that stats don't equal traits, and the NFL is a traits league. Arm talent under pressure, processing speed without defined reads, accuracy when the defense wins. Those moments don't always show up when RPOs are cooking. And yet, this is where the story refuses to be simple. Because Fernando Mendoza isn't stupid. He knows the narrative. He hears the criticism. He understands what scouts are saying. And quarterbacks who understand the criticism sometimes evolve faster than anyone expects. The question isn't whether Mendoza can run an RPO offense. We already know he can dominate with it. The real question, the one that could define his legacy, is whether he can prove he's more than it. Because if he can, this conversation flips overnight. And Quincy Avery's skepticism becomes fuel. So here's what I want to know from you. Was Quincy Avery right to question Fernando Mendoza's NFL readiness, or is the league about to overthink itself and miss on another winner? Drop your take in the comments. Because this debate isn't ending anytime soon, and PrimeSnap NFL is staying right in the middle of it.